Yes, I'm clapping for myself again. Welcome. Um, Welcome to another edition of Dialogue Matters. And for the quiet ones like myself, who feels really quiet sometimes, I'm grateful for showing up. It is my birthday month, though. Hey, this is the June edition, and I'm showing up to say hello and to say thank you for all of the birthday wishes, all of the love, the phone calls, the texts, the hearts, the special DMs, because dialogue matters, especially around your birthday, right? Because you want people um, to see you and you want to know that your life matters. And I want you to know that I am glad that you were born as well. And thank you for being a light in this world. Keep shining and know that the reason why I show up is because of you, because you have shown me so much love. And I think about all of the people who didn't have time for me, but they still made time for me. So thank you. I'm doing my best to be a reflection of that every month. So I want to show up like the sun and shine consistently even when I'm tired or even when I feel like I don't even know what I want to say. But I'm here and I want to give thanks to one of my biggest supporters, Stephen Daniel Jones, who is also standing by and helping me out behind the scenes. I want to say thank you to anyone who is showing up in the comments. So feel free, if you didn't get into the DM this month, to leave me a question. This is a question and answer segment. You can DM me now, and Steve will try to catch the questions, and or you can leave something in the chat, and we will put your question up for dialogue. One of the questions that I received this month was a very interesting question that I think is a reflection of what's going on with the a lot of attention right now on the Diddy trial, and it had me thinking about this question someone asked about fame and Venus. Did you ever want to be famous, or what do you think about what fame makes people do? And I started thinking about that, and I started writing a blog about it because if you didn't know, I have had some brushes with fame. Fame is such an interesting relative thing, right? And I started just writing this, and so I thought I thought it'd be better that I just read to you what I wrote before I go into a little bit later some tips for if you have a young person who you think might be interested in fame, or might be going down the wrong path and seeking attention, but not always in the best way. So I wanted to just first read this something that I wrote here, and it's called "When the Walk of Fame Fizzles, but You Still Fabulous." Okay, "Nobody Knows My Name" is a quote in a book by James Baldwin. So I started with that quote, and I said, "Have you ever wanted to be famous?" So cue and Nico's King's affirmation. In case you never heard the song, it goes, "I will be one of the greatest. That is the vow. Yeah, that is the promise. I always wanted to be famous, just being real, just being honest." You're not alone in wanting fame. Me, I'd rather be revered, yet earning the respect of others means nothing if I lose my self-respect. Recently, a friend said, "When you ascend, they will write books about you." Wouldn't that be nice if they wrote kind words in a book I could read right now? If you're ahead of your time, perhaps fame is not part of your destiny. I spent a lot of time around my fellow filmmakers on carpets last year that were red, and my festival ran its course. But imagine dropping $75,000 for a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. If you didn't know, that is the cost. Not a down payment on a home, not seed money for an indie film. Nope. Just so tourists can take selfies while standing on your name. And some might even vandalize it for clout. They say that's the price of fame. You have to spend money to make money, unless you make a fortune already. It seems as though then people want to give you things for free. But despite all of my many accomplishments as a multi-gifted artist, I still feel like Baldwin's proverbial nobody. And frankly, that's fine. When I see myself as a child of God, I got no one walking over my name, literally or metaphorically. Now, I also like to speak in song, and I'm thinking of another song that I want to cue by Erykah Badu, and it's AD 2000. And she sang, I might go down dilapidated. Gotta love when people help you with your vocabulary. You might have to look up what dilapidated means. Well, for me, it means you still rise despite someone trying to smear your name. But I'm rising for not just applause, even if it's my own, but for purpose, for principle, and on principle. Wrote a book about it. My 3 unfamous reasons I am not world famous, I believe, are the following. Number 1, I am a multi-gifted, free-thinking Black woman who's unpredictable. Yes, the odds have not been in my favor that the powers that be on this earth will welcome me. I have never been easy to control or figure out for several reasons. I've been labeled multi-gifted, and that alone can scare gatekeepers. Multi-gifted people tend to be neurodivergent and unconventional. I never understood the you got to pay to play concept. One of my favorite words is reciprocity. When someone offers me a chance to flip the script and become Angela Davis in a local play, I'm surprised, and so are they, that I'm saying no to my SAG eligibility. And yes to, well, what some might say, my Black card versus my SAG card. Because I felt like Angela Davis represented Black liberation. And some didn't understand the significance of me wanting to play Davis, an educated Black woman who had once been on the FBI's most wanted list. But to me, it was better than me playing a stereotypical role as an actress back then, maybe as a prostitute, number 3. Besides waiting for the approval from everyone, that would mean me waiting for something maybe like Malcolm X's day being declared a national holiday in America, maybe next year, to celebrate 101 years of his birth. I'm not going to hold my breath. And I didn't back then. I refuse, number 2, to be paid with exposure. Now, maybe you've heard Monique, Viola, Taraji, and others who do pay their union dues talk about this publicly. A lack of cash offerings given to the dark and lovely divas. The opportunity to write my Angela Davis monologue was a dream come true. Performing it, sacred. Did I let go of my sad card? Yes, I did. But I didn't do it for a check even. No, I don't do everything for money. Even in the recorded video, I wasn't even in the best spotlight. Yet, it didn't stop me from shining. Even on a big budget set, I was asked once to play more than one position with no adjustment to my contract. Maybe you can relate. Well, the industry's favorite word is exposure. And this often means you'll be exposed to exploitation. Remind you of anything? Child stars who are seen but not saved. And adults who are praying that when they go viral, it will earn them validation is still prevalent. And meanwhile, respect and reparations are deferred. Number 3, I made a pact with the God of my understanding that everything would happen in perfect time. And I wrote a poem about it because I believe God isn't just finished yet rewarding me. I've seen God prepare tables for me in the presence of my enemies, and it only restored my faith. I actually met Diddy before, and I shared a picture of us together once. And I wouldn't say I survived Diddy because we didn't have a huge contact, but I know that he is just a representation of a lot of different people who do mean harm, and they are wolves, just like the character in my animation, who want to be big deals, and they will do whatever it takes to stay on quote quote top. But more than once, because of these types of energies, I've had to decline contracts, written contracts, um, even from people that look like me and those who didn't. And I've engaged in visibility activism for many reasons. But I'm not interested in building someone else's brand or wealth behind the scenes anymore. I was too busy doing my best to build a legacy or to make my ancestors proud while trying to survive capitalism and the corrupt. Real artists want to heal and not just hustle. Fame ain't fortune, and fortune ain't freedom. Let's be clear, achieving fame too soon can limit your freedom. Given my faith, I feared being worshipped as an American idol. Some artists chase the light, forgetting that being a light is far more necessary. If I ever met Janet Jackson, for example, I would love to ask her, how did you keep showing up after being blacklisted? And many people who walked through the doors she opened didn't even acknowledge her during her darkest days. How did she keep her joy? Every day in Hollywood, someone is looking for their best angle. Meanwhile, I'm just trying to angle towards joy without compromising my integrity for the love of truth and still the love of hip hop culture, my calling and my creativity. D1 once said, be real, be righteous, and be relevant. In 2025, we've got AI writing screenplays, TikTok therapists giving advice, and billionaires launching into space, while our public schools are dismantled. And we still crown celebs as royalty, while many scholars are silenced. I am name dropping, as you can tell, but it's only to show the love for some of the artists and authors who have inspired me. Where is the love for Black griots, the storytellers who heal, the unbought and unbossed? I want to give a shout out to not just people that I don't know personally that have inspired me, but even to artists like Dynasty, who is a hip hop artist that I love and know personally. So let's stop merely mimicking quote unquote influencers and start influencing systems, because celebrity is just a word for who's celebrated. And infinite wisdom reminds me that to truly create change, we need consistent rituals of our own. The following poem came to mind. It was first published in my book She Rose when I was trying to understand how artists go from famous to forgotten. Every star fades, even supernovas. And as the writer of Little Red is Riding the Wrong Way in the Hood, I'm ready to nurture more storytellers who are divinely inspired to teach us all how to shine, even when the glitter rubs off. So, this is a poem that I believe will not fade, and it's called Original. He is a bold impression, full of contrasting colors that shimmer through cracked glass. Hear him open up so young, happy a big break came fast. Watch him open up on empty after suffering with the shard at night. He's a soulful song, fading, fading, fading from sight. They say his masterpiece was beyond great, but now it's simply old. Watch another legendary artist grow pale, trembling in the cold. He's moonlighting on the corner, holding out a cup. A howling has been how? How did Original dry up? He didn't. You just stopped listening. And I want to end this segment with tips for people who want to stay engaged with people and young people that care about fame and fortune, but may not necessarily know how to get there. I think, especially for the neurodivergent, it is very important if you see them disconnecting with you, that you remind them that you are watching. Because many neurodivergent youth, they speak through behavior. Music, like me, they might tell you who they're listening to by the things that they quote. You might want to learn more about their ways of resisting. And instead of saying, why won't you talk to me? You can look at the patterns. Number two, you can offer presence over pressure. The harder you push for a conversation, sometimes the more kids retreat. And instead of trying to be in a space of demanding, I think it's really important to share times when you wanted to fit in and times when you felt like a misfit, because that builds trust. Being present. Number three is you can protect their dignity even when you're confused. And it's okay to understand that your child is going through something. We all are. But never assume that their quiet nature is a failure or a flaw. Some of us, we're just being artists, creatives, introverted, and not necessarily needing to always speak. But when we do, and when that child does, make sure that you let them know that they are heard. So on July 16th, I hope that you'll pay attention to Lil Red and his journey. And Little Red is is a character that is trying to find his way, much like all of us. Uh, the YouTube premiere of my animated film will be on July 16th. And it is a voice for the quiet kids, or the ones who are trying to find adventure and fame and different ways of connecting. And I'll be sharing a premiere link soon. You can feel free to follow Little Red Movie on Instagram, and the YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/@ Little Red Movie. Because we are definitely going to have a watch party, and I would love for you to be there. And we can do our best to prevent people from feeling like they have to exploit others to be famous or to be relevant. And that's not true. So I want to take the time to let you know that I am still working towards my own growth, and I am doing my best to share as much as I can. If you're interested in the Angela Davis that video, I'll definitely put it on my Patreon page so you can see me playing her. And if you are interested in seeing me recite more poems that make me think about my own childhood, I have another one coming up that I recorded yesterday for you called Talking Back, because dialogue matters, and sometimes some neurodivergent children talk too much. I know I was one of those. I can tell you, oh man, I mean, come on. But it takes all kinds, doesn't it? And that is what's beautiful, is that we can learn from each other. And I think it's interesting, the journey in hindsight. But I wrote that piece called Talking Back. I mentioned it last time when we were together, and I decided to just record it for you in a more polished way. And I want you to be able to see that piece and share that with a loved one, because sometimes in anger, as guardians or as parents or teachers, we can snap, and kids can make you want to snap a lot lately. And some of them are way more outspoken than I was. And that's a good thing too sometimes. But as it says in scripture, there is a season for everything, and a time for everything. And Talking Back is a poem that allows us to talk about that too. Little Red is Riding the Wrong Way in the Hood is definitely something, a poem that I'm very proud of, and it has been a long time in the making, and I don't want to just release it without a little bit of love and care. So in a little bit, in July, again, July 16th, I want you to mark your calendar, because that's when we're going to make it public, and we are going to continue the conversation, because silence can be dangerous, and it can be the place where predators live, is in the silence. So we want to make sure that we're hip in the kids, as moms maybe would say. And if there is no more questions for now, I am going to go ahead and let you know that I am here for you. This segment is really mostly for my Patreon supporters, and we have an open mic that follows these segments. So if you're following me and a paid subscriber at patreon.com/Venus Love Jones, know that I'm open to listening to any poem or any monologue that you might be working on right now and watching that. So we have a link. If you go over, follow me over to Patreon, and you will find the link there for the Dialogues Matter open mic segment. And I am going to see you next time. since I don't see any questions here, but we one of the other things I forgot, I did have a question that I did not answer, but I'm going to put together a whole list of travel tips for those of you who are interested in living abroad. I am coming to you live from Chiang Mai, Thailand. Last month I was in Vietnam, but right now I'm coming to you live from Chiang Mai. And the good news is that we are going to be, drum roll please, we are going to be actually settling down. So I'll have more time to think about these themes every month and think about how to engage you with not being afraid, and creating more brave space for you to feel more brave to ask questions. And that will happen soon because we'll be settled soon because we have um, put a little bit of roots down for about 6 months or so. We'll be here just making more space for developing myself and my spirituality. And I'm so happy to say that I was on the mountaintop over at Doi Suthet on June 5th, celebrating my birthday during sunrise. And I got blessed by the monks and everything. And it was really, 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 really memorable. So I'll have to share some more pictures later if you haven't seen some of the ones that I've already posted. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for not just chasing fame and fortune, but chasing something that is making you fearless, making you feel like you are connected to all that is before you and all that comes after you. Because I do believe when we live on principle, we can't help it. We are destined for greatness, whether we are recognized in this life or the next. So I want to thank you for listening. My name is Venus Jones, and you, my dear, are loved.